So here's a dilemma for all you guys following along with the build. I was measuring my ring gap. This is the 5th one I brought out. And on the first ring, the thinnest ring, the gap is a little too tight. So I'm gonna have to file that. But more interestingly, they give you a thickness for what each ring should be, how thick it should be. And at first I checked it with my micrometer, and it came out to be too thin. And so I was like, oh, well, you know, I worked 7 days this week. Maybe I'm tired and I'm reading it wrong like an idiot. And I took the digital caliper and I decided to do the same thing and just double check my work with it. I'm getting 0.45 of an inch on the first ring. If you look at the chart, it says it's supposed to be 0.0580 to 0.0586, and we are well under that by about 0.013. You know, that's a lot thinner. So then I measured the second ring, which is supposed to be 0.0580 to 586. Again, same thickness it says, and that is correct. However, when you look at the rings, they don't even look the same thickness at all. You can tell the first ring's much thinner. So why do I have the wrong rings? First piston ring, second piston ring, and then the oil scraper ring, which is in here. I was measuring the gap, is the correct thickness as well. But I guess we'll figure that out. But for now, the gap is pretty simple. I just put the piston ring in there. I push it down with the piston evenly, and then I take the minimum measurement, which is for the oil scraper ring, is 10th thou, so the little end of this feeler gauge, which does fit. And what shouldn't fit is, it says 24th thou, but 25 don't fit. So that's pretty good. Let's open up another one of these new old stock liners and see what the deal is with this one. I'm wearing gloves just because I don't want anything to flash rust. I should put my phone down first. No, I got it. So here's the second one. I'm going to see if I can stand this up in a way. There we go. So I'm going to pop this out. There's the piston, the rings. Let's take the top ring off and see if it still is the same thickness. So I rotate it around, find this top ring, carefully remove it. These have a C. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. They have a C on the top, and the bottom 2 rings, it says top on the top. Can't mix that up. It's not good. So what I do is I only take off the top 2 rings at first, and I'll show you why in a second. So let's measure the thickness of this one again. 0.455. Same as before with that top ring. So that's, according to my manual, that's incorrect. So that's interesting. But let's measure the gap. So I wipe out the cylinder, put a little bit of oil, keep the rings from scratching, rub it around in there. And then what I like to do is I start with the top ring. I make sure it is also facing the correct way, and then pop it in by hand. And then the reason I leave this ring on the piston is so that when I push it in, I can hit that ring and I can press it evenly, so I know it's even in the cylinder. And now on this one, our spec is supposed to be, first ring gap is 0.015 to 0.025. So I have 0.015 right here. That should fit. Ooh. Ooh. So this one's also a bit tight and will need to get filed. But of course, that one doesn't fit. So then go ahead and try our next one. I'm going to measure this one's thickness again. And that one is 0.580, so that's in spec. Make sure top, here's where it says top. This one's the same gap. Oh, this one fits perfectly. So it's larger than our thinnest gap, and it's smaller than, so it's perfect. Good to go. I can pull that out. And then finally I can take off the oil scraper ring and check that, being very careful not to break the spring behind it. These ones are kind of tricky with these pliers. You down there? Yeah. Oh, sorry. So, same deal, I slide this in. This time with the piston, I just try to be really careful to make sure it goes down evenly, and I'll use one of the ring gaps there as a guide, kinda. So now this one is supposed to be 10th thou to 24th thou. So I got my 10th thou right here. Tenth thou fits nice. So definitely larger than 10th thou. That one doesn't fit.